Hey guys, so Brian here. Just want to make a quick video on kind of an update for 2021, and I've kind of got some new goals for me as we kind of enter the year, and I'll kind of go through these one by one and stuff. So obviously I still want to continue on my progress. It's really amazed me looking back when, I go back 6 months ago, I had 0 silver. So, sometimes it's good to kind of take a step back and look and, see kind of where you come, even though I feel like I still sometimes feel like I don't have enough, and maybe I always feel like that to some extent and stuff. But still, it is good to kind of realize that, hey, I'm making progress. I'm getting there little by little as best I can. Okay. And stuff. So, so going into, there's some things that came up, and so I'm kind of reassessing, kind of going as we kind of get further into 2021 right now. And so one thing, go through these goals here. But so my first goal is going to be, see here. So I'm going to be focusing on there's some debts in particular that I'm going to be trying to pay off. Okay. And so I am going to be focusing more on that for probably next few months. I think I'm going to be paying off some 401k loans that I have at work, and so I'm about to pay one of those off. And then that would that'll help me. And then I have one more loan to pay off, and then ultimately once I get those 2 loans paid off, it's going to be, in effect, it's basically, those are costing me at least $240 per month out of my paycheck. Okay. And so that's something to where I want to get these wiped off. And I've even been paying more than that to try to get them paid off faster. So since about 3 to 4 months ago, I've been doubling up on one of the loan payments. So really, I've been paying around $300 a month, just trying to get these paid off. And so I got an opportunity coming up. I'm fixed probably this next week. I'm going to be paying off one of them for sure, and then the other one, I'm hoping between bonuses by April, I'm hoping to have both of those knocked out. Okay. And so so that's going to be one of my first goals over the next few months, to kind of start chipping away at that to get that paid down. Okay. And I would encourage the same if you've got some things, if as time permits, you always got to kind of balance out, obviously debts and stuff you want to try to get rid of, especially if you're talking about credit card debts, things like that, a high interest especially. Get rid of those and then start getting a silver. Early on, I was so eager. I just felt like, not having any silver at all, I just was really stressed out about it. And so I felt like I've got to get some silver and start getting in. And also I was trying to learn the industry, right? I'm trying to learn all this stuff. So, there's a lot of learning curve there. And so, I think that's fine. I mean, I think, for people starting out, it's good. I mean, even, and what I was doing a lot of times is just taking, as soon as I get paid, if I had an extra $100 or $90 or whatever I had, I had $200 or whatever, I'd run to the store and try to grab some silver, right? And I think that's okay when you're learning and stuff. But I'm going to be making some adjustments, and we'll get into that and why. Okay. So number 2, okay. All right. So the number 2 I've got on here. So the next goal is, so as I pay off the debt, my next goal is going to be, I want to make sure, I want to get to where I have a habit of having $500 minimum in savings. Okay. In my actual checking account. Okay. Again, I think, early on, getting into this, which we all know the fiat currency is going to collapse at some point. And, I find myself though, early on, I was really stressed out about leaving too much money in fiat. The problem comes up is to where, and when any kind of issue arises to where, a loved one needs some financial help, you need new, car tires, or you need, something, there's always something that comes up. You always need to have a minimum in your account. Okay. So that way you're not having to dip into your silver. Okay. And I've learned this the hard way. Recently I've actually had to sell some silver and stuff. So, which, it was a good lesson learned in terms of getting comfortable with that process. So being able to, know I can take my silver to the store and cash it in, no problem, get cash in my hand and get out, then so that was a good experience in terms of that. But at the same time, it doesn't feel good, going backwards, from what I'm trying to do. So I don't really, I want to limit that as much as possible, basically. Okay. And so, so minimum of that, ideally, really, what I'll probably end up doing though, I want to get comfortable with this probably at least, and then eventually I'll probably have enough. You want to have enough of your mortgage or rent. You want to have at least enough back for that. Okay. And then they say, then ultimately you want to have enough for 3 months mortgage or rent. Okay. So that's what you kind of want to probably work up to, is where you have at least that much back, and stuff. But this is just, at least $500 minimum, would be a really good starting point, and stuff too. Also the thing is on this is, the more you do have back, when things happen in the market, and let's say silver or gold, drops drastically all of a sudden, well, if you just spent all your money, $100 here, $100 there as you get it, and it's gone, well, guess what? You just missed a great buying opportunity. If silver were to drop down to $18 an ounce or something, you might be slapping yourself and stuff too. So whereas, then if something were to happen, if you had at least a $500 savings or more, consistently in your account, even if you decide to go ahead and dip into that once or twice a year or something like that, as needed, or as the price was dropping, then you can, as long as you went back and saved it back up again, then you could take advantage of those buying opportunities, right, and stuff. So that's another part of that. So okay, all right. So next, number 3, the third goal here. This is going to be a little bit different for me, and I just kind of mentioned some of this, but so number 3 is going to be, I'm sorry, I think I got some food on that page, but but there's so a minimum investment of $300 to $500, and what I mean by that is that the like I said, I've been just, as soon as I had $100 or a couple $100 to spend for my paycheck, and I was running the silver shop and buying whatever I can find or whatever I was interested in. So I'm wanting to shift that now. What I want to do, once I have the other 2 goals done, to pay off the debt, then that's, like I said, once I pay off those 2 loans, that's going to bring me about really pretty much like $300 a month back in my pocket, from what I've been spending, and then I'm going to build up at minimum $500 in savings, and then on top of that, I want to make sure, I want to wait till I'm comfortable. I have at least $300 to $500. A minimum amount before I go to the coin shop, before I buy anything. Okay. And I'm going to focus mostly locally on local dealers, as well, and try to deal in cash as much as possible. Okay. I'm going to try to keep the fees down. And that's going to the next 4th goal here, which is I want to be focusing more on stacking in general. And so, most of y'all probably know, I mean, stacking and collecting are 2 different things, right? So I want to get more to where I'm focusing, the majority of my stuff is going to be focused on actual stacking. And so we're talking generic rounds and bars and things like that, which I don't have any bars yet and stuff. So, but I wouldn't mind getting into that and kind of learning that aspect of it and stuff. So, I'm going to kind of focus on a lot of generics this year when I focus on. And then also, and I will, as I can find them, I will still, if I can find local Libertads, I will still get these as they come up, which is not very often, but I do want to finish my roll on that. I've got 8, and so I'm just going to finish this whole roll of Libertads at some point. And then, of course, if I find, depending on the price of the American Eagles, I've got 1 roll of those already, but then I may start, I'll probably gradually, buy them as I can on Eagles, and keep those going. But again, my priority is going to be more on generics, and then maybe even constitutional silver. I'm kind of debating that, but for sure generic rounds and bars and stuff like that, and whatever I can find the best premiums on, that's what I want to start focusing on, is basically literally stacking, which means trying to get more ounces for your dollar, right, and stuff. So I'm going to try to hold off on as much like collector stuff. There may be a few exceptions there. It may be hard. Like there's maybe a few things that would be hard to resist. Like, I will keep the Allegory series, Germania series, as things are released, possibly there once in a while, which I've already got the newest one with Italia on it. And then, I do want to kind of maybe gradually, as I find the Queen's B series, the ones I don't have, if I find them locally at a decent rate, then I'll probably be tempted to go ahead and buy those. So there might be a few things like that throughout the year that I might end up grabbing and stuff. So, but I do want to focus again mostly on the generics. And here's the thing too, because here's what I find is if I have at least $300 to $500, a decent amount to spend when I go to the shop, I'm going to have a lot more options of what I can buy as well. So then I can even start looking at stuff like the 5 ounces, 10 ounces, stuff like that, even potentially, start looking at bigger bulk, or I can look at buying, depending on what it is, maybe even a whole roll of something, or just things like that. Depending on, obviously it wouldn't be a whole roll of Eagles or anything, but it just, I have more buying power in general. Here's another thing too. Another side goal, I didn't write it down here, but this would be another goal. I would like to, I don't have any gold yet, okay? So I haven't got into the gold, but I do want to have some, obviously. The price has been a little bit lower of late, and so this would have been a good time to probably buy, get in and stuff, but I'm not in position to right now. And so, so one of my other side goals would be to eventually get my first gold coin, preferably this year. Okay, in 2021, I get my first coin. Yeah, originally I was going to wait and try to get a 1 ounce, gold eagle. Now though, I think where my focus will be just get my first gold coin, just in general, just whatever I can get, whatever I can afford. And again, now if I do have this $300 to $500 investment minimum before I even go to the coin shop, then yeah, I mean maybe we're probably talking a small 1/10 or not even a half ounce or anything, like a 1/4 maybe. We're talking stuff like that potentially, depending on how much I have to spend and stuff. But now that becomes more of an option. If I see a coin that's if it's $400 or $500 gold coin, and I say, you know what, let me just go ahead and spend all my money on that, or maybe I have that plus a little bit left over for a little bit of silver, get a couple of generic rounds and stuff. Then that's what I want to. That's another incentive to waiting until I have more money in my pocket before I go to the store and spend it and stuff. Okay, so a couple things there. I'm going to be trying to change and shifting, and then because like I said, I want to, $500, for example, $500 in generics I'm going to be able to stack more ounces quicker that way and get, just get more volume in general. When I did sell some recently, I sold all my generic stuff. And so, that's been something I said I didn't want to do, but I had to at the time and stuff. So, I've had sold some other stuff. I think I sold a kangaroo, the kookaburra that I sold. And so, there's been several things that I've sold. Again, I don't want to say want to, but like I said, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get some more generics, and I do have some of these, like the is it NEU or whatever that. Here it is, a lion, which I really like these too. And see, that's another thing too, is that things like this, things like these collections, the premiums aren't super high on these, and this is also the Tree of Life, that Tree of Life series. Now these are usually online. That's the only problem is, but again, if I have a large sum, even if I did want to buy online, you can start taking more advantage on stuff like this, where maybe you get something like that you like. That's kind of a generic that that you really like, and then you can wait till you have enough to buy a whole maybe a whole roll of that item, rather than spending $100 here, $200 there, and buying stuff separately. Now you can buy a whole roll, or maybe you wait till you have $800-900, and then you can go buy a whole roll of Eagles possibly, or maybe you wait till the price drops a little bit more and you go buy a whole roll of Eagles. That kind of thing. If you kind of wait for you have a bigger lump sum to spend, then also, like I said, you're in more position to possibly get into gold at that point. When you start getting into thousands, then you're in position to actually go get some gold coins and stuff. So But I hope that helps out there. You kind of learn from, some of my mistakes and what, kind of what I'm going through, and some changes that I'm making for 2021. And, please leave a comment down below. Keep on stacking, guys.